Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to duplicate objects and what the difference is between linked and unlinked objects. So whenever you open up your scene, we're going to duplicate the cube that is already built into the scene. So to duplicate an object, I'm going to select it and hit Shift D. If I move it over, you'll see that I have an identical copy of the cube that I started with. If I go into edit mode, I can also duplicate within edit mode. So if I select the entirety of my cube, hit Shift D and move it over, you'll see that I have the same cube, but they're both within the same object. This cube I can select as an external object, however these two are now paired. If I go into this cube and I make some changes, let's see. Do something like that, you'll see that those changes are still reflected whenever I duplicate it. That type of duplication, when you hit Shift D, is basically a copy-paste. You are copying the object and pasting it somewhere else. You can also copy-paste, Control-C, Control-V in Blender, and I can move that up. It copies and pastes it to the same location. However, Shift D immediately puts you into the movement category, so you can hit X, Y, Z. That's going to be your standard way to duplicate an object. If I delete all of this, I can show you the difference between that unlinked duplicate and then the linked duplicate. So I'm going to hit Shift A and add a cube back to the scene. And this time, instead of duplicating with Shift D, I'm going to hit Alt D and move it over. Now what Alt D does is it duplicates it just like we duplicated it with Shift D. However, now the data between the two objects is shared. So if I go into this object, you'll see whenever I select something, both cubes are being affected. If I inset and extrude, you'll see that both cubes are having the exact same changes applied to them. So I can move, by Alt D, I can move this anywhere in the scene, rotate, 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 rotate. And if I go into that object, you'll see even after changes have been made to it in object mode, it's retaining the properties of the previous one that was duplicated. So that's an extremely powerful way for you to create objects that are modular and that repeat themselves. This is also extremely handy because whenever you duplicate an object and it shares the same data as another, then when you render that scene, the duplicated objects will actually take a lot less computing power because Blender understands that, okay, this object has been duplicated, is the exact same as this other object, I'm going to apply the same render settings to it. If you have a lot of trees or grass in a scene and you are placing those by hand, then use Alt D, share the data between those, and your render time will decrease dramatically, and also the file size of your Blender file. So that is the difference between duplicating with and without linked data by using Shift D and Alt D. So I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you in the next video.